Hey Tater Tots, how you doing? I'm going to walk you through your tutorial for NCTest to get ready for your science EOG. When you go to your Chromebook, you will not need to log in to the Chromebook. First thing you will need to do is to go to the icon and click and choose the NCTest app. I can't do that on this one because I am on a laptop, not a Chromebook, just so you know. Let's see if I can make this text a little bigger so y'all can see it. So in the tutorial, every single one of you must take the tutorial before you can take the Science EOG. It is a little bit different than SchoolNet, and there are some helpful tools inside. You can watch the desktop tutorial video, or you can watch it from a tablet if you're on an iPad. When you come into this practice tutorial, you will have to do one for any test that you are taking online. So this year it will just be your Science Grade 5. And then you can choose the options here on the day of the test. These won't be options for you. If you want to have regular font or large font, if your accommodations require for you to have any of these things, it will already be in place for you before testing. You can also, when you practice and when you do the tutorial, you can choose a different background color that you like to play around with it. When you log in to the tutorial, you will not actually need a login. Just like your NC check-ins used to be, you'll see your name here, you'll see your student ID here, and you should see South Greenville here. For the tutorial and the practice, you will need none of these. You click Start. Now, it is going to give you several types of examples. You need to read through the material and make the best answer choice. The different items you have up here, you will have your student name displayed and it will say South Greenville. If you notice here, it says item 1 of 6. There are 6 items in this tutorial. To mark a question or to flag it, to decide if you need to come back to it, you click either this checkbox or click the flag button. To mark out those distractor questions, you would come here and choose the answers that you know are not correct. If you need to unselect because you've selected the wrong one, you'll keep the strikeout tool and unselect. You do not have to select all of the mark out answers, but you do have to come back and take off the selector option to be able to choose the correct answer. When you choose an answer, it will highlight in black. You also have highlighting tools. You can use the highlighter to highlight important bits of information in your passage. Do not highlight the entire page. If you have the inkling to highlight the entire page, don't highlight. So if you use the little flashy line, not the actual highlighter, it will highlight exactly where you want it to. So I'm highlighting important information that I find when I'm reading. In your question, you should not highlight your entire question. Let's say you do. Let's go back. We can either clear all of the highlighting on our page, or we can clear just one section. When you play with the highlighter tools and not use them correctly, you're wasting precious time to go back and reread your test. Again, to clear all highlighting, you click the highlighter with the X. This help button will tell you about the different types of tools on NCTest. Of course, in science, you're not going to have calculator active. And then your navigation buttons at the bottom are very helpful. There will be some questions where you have to drag and drop or type in text or choose from a list. Again, this is the help option that helps you see where you are. So on this one, this is what we call a drag and drop feature, and your science test will absolutely have drag and drop. So what you do is you read the directions. The options below this table list different types of living things. Please place, drag and drop each type into the proper location in the table. So on the left you see the living thing. You cannot drag and drop this side. You will be dragging and dropping the answers from underneath to where they belong. I am not choosing the correct answers. Now, I have one answer left over. A lot of people ask, why is there one answer left over? Again, it's like a distractor in a multiple choice question. You're not going to do anything with this answer unless you want to replace an answer from another question. Then you would have to unselect, undrag, and drag that answer into the box. If you want to jump to the very first question on this test, that's what first. If you want to jump to the very end of the test, we have the review box. In the review box, you can click on a specific question number and it will take you back to that question. If you see here on question number 1, we flagged question number 1 because we know we want to go back and look at the answer again. If you look under answered or under each number, there is an asterisk. The asterisk indicates that you have answered that question. It does not mean you have the correct answer or incorrect answer. It just means you have selected an answer. So I can click straight here to question number 3 and choose an answer. Now, for this question, you're choosing from a list. To select an answer, I click it, but I cannot unclick it from this list. To unchoose that answer, click it back in the main menu. And this question is asking for organisms that are animals. A fern is a type of plant. So I go back to my review screen. I still haven't answered 3 questions. I am never going to click exit or end test until I have raised my hand and my teacher comes and stands beside me and double checks with me that each question is complete. If your teacher does not tell you to end your test or let you know that you're okay to end your test and they just walk away, you will know that you have not answered all of your questions. Never hit exit. You may not be able to come back in to where you started, and it may lose some of your question and answer choices. So here's a math sample. Again, I can highlight. I only want to figure out what part is shaded. Remember to double check your answers. Now if I don't turn off highlighting, I can highlight answers, but it will also let me choose an answer choice. If I have on the scratch out or the distractor X, then it will not let me choose the correct answer. It will let me mark out questions. If I would like to reset a question so that it's completely blank, this undo arrow or backwards arrow lets me reset my question. It does not reset the whole test. It does not delete your highlighting. It only deletes or resets your answer choice options. Now I know I'm not picking the correct answer. That would be way too easy. And in this last answer choice type, you can choose, you can type in a numerical answer. This probably won't be on your science EOG, but you should know how to do it anyways. Once you enter your response, you notice that I could not add a comma. Commas are not allowed to be typed in the box. If I was writing a fraction of 1/2, I would write 1/2. When finished, I click next, and I'm just going to pick another answer. Yes, I read my question. I took my time, or at least you better. Now I'm at the end. It takes me back to the review screen, and this is where I raise my hand for my teacher to come check and make sure all my questions are answered. If you see you have a question flagged here, click on that number, go back, double check your answers, and then unflag. Go back to the review screen to check for more questions that might need to be answered. Once your teacher stands at your station, waits for you to end your test, you will see this stop sign. In doing this tutorial, you will need to show this screen to your teacher, and they will have you sign a form stating that you have completed this practice session. Again, everyone must do this practice session before they can take the Science EOG. After you're finished and you have signed the paper, you may click exit. It may not cooperate like mine is doing. So I'm going to go back. I want to exit. If any screen like this pops up during the test, you want to make sure that you raise your hand and ask for help. If it logs you out by accident, which will happen to some people, just raise your hand. Do not start clicking on things and thinking you're going to fix the problem. Okay, so it won't take me out to exit. That's okay. I'll make you another video to show you how to do the practice sessions with the release test items.